Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be discussing some of my favorite Wings of Fire headcanons that have gone around the fandom. Some of these are more well known and others are things that I've made up while writing the series. If you didn't know, a headcanon is sort of an idea that a fan of something comes up with in order to make a series more interesting. For example, if you have a pre-existing character's voice in your mind for Wings of Fire character, that would be your headcanon voice for them. Keep in mind that these are not true to the story as far as we know. They are entirely fan creations. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. One Wings of Fire headcanon that I've heard quite a bit is Turtle being the reincarnation of Fathom. Though I don't believe this to be true in the story at all, I think it's a very unique concept. Two animus beings who share similar personalities would make sense for a reincarnation headcanon. People do discuss the idea of Moonwatcher being a reincarnation of Clearsight, although I don't like the idea of this one. Turtle being Fathom would be such a cool concept to explore, and I hope some fans dive further into this headcanon. I also saw somewhere the blacksmith daughter that Peacemaker ends up marrying could be a reincarnation of Clearsight, and that would be very sweet if it were a thing. Another Wings of Fire headcanon that I absolutely love is the idea of Leafwing scales changing colors based on the seasons. I saw this in one of 4Crane's videos, and it may just be one of my favorite Wings of Fire headcanons. It would be so awesome to see Leafwing scales changing colors during each season. In winter, they'd be a brownish color, in fall, they'd be orangish yellows, in spring, they would be lighter shades of green, and in summer, they'd be bright green and other tropical colors. It would provide a lot more variety in Leafwing designs and make them even more interesting. The next headcanon that's really fascinating and interesting to me is that Sandwings host musical ceremonies and parades. It is shown that the tribe has an interest for music, and it would be awesome if they did musical festivals. Some instruments they would probably play are drums, banjos, and flutes. Sandwings are a musical tribe, and what better way to show their love for it than hosting yearly parades and musical festivals? I would love to see a scene like this in the books, and it would bring even more love to the Sandwing tribe. Another one that I find to lead to some unique possibilities is that Clay used to have a crush on Glory when they were growing up, but soon grew out of it. I mainly created this headcanon because of Tui stating that Clay and Glory were originally going to get together, so why not have Clay secretly have a tiny crush on Glory when they were younger? I feel like none of the other Dragonists caught on to it, but maybe Glory did at some point. However, this obviously wouldn't work out as Glory would start to grow more independent as she grew older. It would just be sort of a thing that Clay grew out of. The next Wings of Fire headcanon is something small, yet still one I really enjoy. It's that Nightwing teardrop scales glow when they use their powers. I know that only mind-reading Nightwings have teardrop scales, but this would be very cool and useful for dragons to know when a Nightwing is reading their mind. If Seers had teardrop scales, them glowing when they see the future in a prophecy would be insanely cool. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Do you guys have any Wings of Fire headcanons? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!